All right, so you'll notice in the diagram there's two bodies. The body that covers the lower and the upper triangle represent the lower mental plane, which is what most of us traverse every day and night. The full bottom and the top represent the lower mental plane and the higher mental plane. Do not get this confused with the triangle that you're used to seeing in the Ho'oponopono that's been passed around, because that triangle by itself, where it says Father, Mother, Son, okay, most of us are not exalted beings. We don't have a fully balanced I. A fully balanced I would be an exalted being like Morrnah. How do I know this? For one, Morrnah said it herself. So listen to the tapes that are on some of the other YouTube channels. Listen to every single one because you'll miss things. She has said when other speakers stand up to talk, she's lent some other information in addition to what they were saying. But a fully balanced I would be the likes of Master Jesus, Yogananda, Morrnah, some of these other beings that have come forward. They come forward sometimes in different eras. And as I stated in the 7 rays, we are entering into the 7th, and that's what the age of I is. Each ray, some exalted beings will come forward and give and share teachings. This is why it's very important that we share. I say this all the time. I will probably say this till the day I pass forward into the other realms. But Morrnah is still available to you. If you can impress enough into the higher mental plane, you will be able to communicate with her. So I'm just going to leave you with this. Know that it could take lifetimes to clean up crud. That's what we're here for. That's why I'm sharing this, because I have plenty of crud and I have been doing a lot of this work, which has not cleared all my karma, have not made me a balanced I, but I am on the path and so are you. So we must share our trials and tribulations together. That's what the age of I is about. To become fully balanced in our I, where Morrnah is on the mental plane and you are in the mental plane, you have to be balanced enough to even speak with her or anyone else there. Because the minute that you have a fear, a thought of imbalanced perception, belief, you will be pulled out. So I will just tell you this. Me personally, I have had limited amounts of time asking questions or receiving answers because I know that my I is not fully balanced. But have I been able to impress into there? Yes. And many of you have too. If you are awake in a dream and you are beginning to have, like, where you can see, okay, I've been awake in there and your dreams are becoming more clear, you're able to touch and feel things, you are starting to impress into that plane of existence. Maybe not the higher mental plane, but there's different levels of the astral as well. So just keep doing the introspection, what I call inquiries. When you do inquiries, you're doing introspection. Now, you can also sit and be silent, which is something that the ancestors used to do a lot. Ho'omalo, being totally silent, receiving the wisdom. Sit with yourself. But this takes time. So keep working with the teaching. Bless you all. Have a blessed day. Wonderful gift that Morrnah has given us. And I want to tell you a little bit more. For those of you who are unaware of this, Morrnah is an exalted being. Okay. And there's clearly a difference between 99% of us and the 1%. In each lifetime, and there are 7 different ages, and that is why I am bringing this to you, because in the rainbow, the lights that we normally see in our state that we are in today, those colors represent each age in the entirety of the Earth's process. So when you think of Ho'oponopono, it is a process too, and this planet goes through a process as well. It's what the infinite divine means. It is, you represent the divine self, and the planet is the infinite divine. So we are one in the same with it. There is an interplay that Morrnah shares through each prayer. The interplay where she says, light, life, the invisible waters, the breath. She's constantly giving you this interplay. When you do the breathing, you do it third at the beginning and a third towards the end. Interplay between the cosmos and yourself, because we are one in the same. Morrnah, as an exalted being, in each age, there are a few exalted beings that come forward, and they represent a very larger group, a group of the light that wants to protect and preserve and give light to this planet. It has become increasingly dangerous for those people like Morrnah, like Daskalos to come through, because they are constantly under sometimes spiritual attack, as Morrnah has stated. They have to be careful for their lives constantly. They are here to bring forward a very special gift when they come. So when someone thinks of property, copyright, they are limiting their understanding of what Morrnah's teaching is, because hers is a planetary gift. And this is why it was forbidden to copyright, and why it has not been copyrighted under her intellectual LLCs, which were non for profit, because it is truly a gift to be shared. And these are laws that come from both realms of existence. Okay, when you have, there's governmental laws, well, these are spiritual laws. So why I share freely is because I am protected in those laws, and I have went within my own spirit family to get clear understanding in the scope of what I'm supposed to be doing. I've been doing this for 7 years now. It does not make me authority, because authority figure is man's understanding. One of the reasons that so many people are sharing her wisdom is because it cannot be stopped. It cannot be kept secured under one person, because this is the distortion. When a person comes through to give a sacred teaching, those laws pervade all existences, okay? They are sacredly protected. So if a person tries to, in their own distortion, copyright it and be the only authoritative figure to share it, then they are missing their own mark. Because as far as the esoteric understanding, when you start to expand yourself and you start understanding these planetary laws and codes, divine codes, it will continue on with or without your permission, because they're sacred. And that's what Morrnah did. She upgraded. She didn't own it. She wasn't the creator of it. She was a giver of wisdom that needed to be upgraded. So keep in mind that there is principles, just like there are laws and codes. There's principles in the spiritual realm, and the principle for the age of the eye is sharing. In the age of the eye, you will hear more about the seven rishis, the seven rays. you're going to be moving into, as we are right now, this new era of community. So I guess got chills saying that because all these people sharing her wisdom, once you start to shift away from me, myself, just you, as in I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry, and thank you. And you shift into divine creator, Father, Mother, Son as one. This is in the rhythm with the times. So when I have said to you, I don't believe that it was completely wrong in what Hugh did because perhaps the culture was not ready to share the true teaching of Ho'oponopono of my ancestors and yours to share. And as Morrnah, being an exalted being, I want to also add that she is not gone. She is with us right now. She is overseeing this body of work. So I'm going to read you something, okay? For many of you that don't know, many of her prayers come from sacred words that are in the Bible in its original, purest form. I have a Bible that is over 100 something years old on purpose because over time, the Bible too has been chipped away, transformed, converted into different versions. That's the whole meaning of protecting the 12 steps in what she taught. Okay. So I'm going to read to you John 14, Jesus comforting his disciples. He says, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, the divine creator. Believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. These rooms are resemblance of the rainbow, okay? Heaven. They all, so when we say the truth, there's many layers of some of these teachings, many of them, like my ancestors' teachings, are written in fables and stories. Let's go on. John 14:27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. Okay, I do not give you as the world gives. What does this mean? This is why Morrnah changed the world kingdom to the regal dome in her Lord's Prayer. I do not give to you as the world gives, because this world, this marketplace, was known as the kingdom. When we shift into the age of I, we are shifting into the regal dome. John 14:28. You heard me say, I am going away and I am coming back to you. If you love me, you would be glad that I'm going to the Father, for the Father is greater than I. I have told you now before it happens, so that when it does happen, so that when it does happen, you will believe. I will not say much more to you, for the prince of this world is coming. This is the regal dawn. When I think of this gift and why it had to be shared, because when I first started on this journey, I didn't know much, and I regret I didn't listen to my own ancestors when I was younger. I was afraid to share this when I started to understand how sacred and meaningful the principle of sharing this is. What I just read to you, if you know the piece of I, you will have put together that it comes from this biblical teaching. Morrnah shared bits and pieces, but it is for someone to, this is why she said work with it. Work with it, because when it becomes embedded, ingrained in you, no one can tell you any different than what can be known within you. Okay. So anything I say, anything anyone else says, this authoritative figure or only person, one person knowing more than other, no. The age of I is about the wisdom within coming forward. So do your own homework and share far and wide.